and then I washed my face and went back to bed and picked up my phone and continued building the file. The file. I should describe it, because it became important. Renata had started it on a manila folder she labeled in pencil with the case reference number from my attorney's intake form. By the time I was discharged from Mercy Regional, the folder had grown to include the insurance enrollment documents, the bank withdrawal records, the phone records, the title search on the Dalton house showing Marcus as sole owner, a detailed timeline of the savings account balance, and 4 pages of dated notes in Renata's precise handwriting covering everything she had observed in the 8 months prior. It was not thick yet. It was a beginning. I went home from the hospital to my mother's house in Clark Summit because I had nowhere else to go. Marcus had not suggested I return to Dalton. We had not discussed it. I took the kids on a Tuesday afternoon. Owen was 6, Lily was 4, and I loaded 2 bags in their car seats and drove 20 minutes up Route 6 while the sky went the particular flat gray that northeastern Pennsylvania does in December, the color of old pewter, the color of waiting. My mother and I did not discuss what I knew, not directly. She made soup, she asked about my blood pressure, she folded laundry in the living room while Owen watched cartoons and Lily slept on my chest, and I sat in the same chair I had sat in since childhood, with my daughter's warm weight against me and the folder tucked into my overnight bag 2 feet away, and I thought about that gray blazer, still in the dry cleaning bag upstairs in her closet, and what it cost a person to hold something that carefully for that long. The divorce attorney I retained, not my colleague from the firm, but a woman named Patricia Voss who practiced family law in Scranton with a reputation for being surgical in the discovery phase, told me in our first meeting that the case had several parallel tracks. The marital assets track, the house titled solely in Marcus's name, had been purchased during the marriage using joint income, which under Pennsylvania equitable distribution law meant I had a claim regardless of how it was titled. The dissipation track, $44,000 withdrawn from a joint account during an ongoing pregnancy, constituted marital waste and was actionable. The domestic abuse track was a word she used carefully and I received carefully. The isolation in the hospital, the deliberate communication to medical staff designed to reduce my access to care and information, documented. That last one opened a door I had not anticipated. Patricia Voss referred me to a colleague who worked in conjunction with the Lackawanna County District Attorney's Office. His name was James Cutler. He was 47, former public defender, and he had the particular stillness of someone who has heard every version of every story and has learned to listen for what is not being said. I met him at a diner on North Washington Avenue on a Thursday morning in January. I wore my own clothes, pressed. I brought the folder. He read through the phone records and the insurance enrollment forms without speaking, drinking his coffee with one hand and turning pages with the other. When he reached the hospital documentation, the charge nurse's notes obtained through my medical records request, containing the words, "Patient's husband reports history of dramatic behavior and family instability," he set down his coffee cup. He looked at me. He said, "He submitted this before you regained consciousness." I said, "Yes." He said, "Do you have the timestamp on the nurse's notation?" I slid the page across the table. The notation was logged at 6:47 a.m. on the morning after my surgery. I had not come out of anesthesia until after 10. Cutler looked at the page for a long moment. Then he put it back in the folder and closed it, and he said, "Interference with medical care is a criminal charge in Pennsylvania. What he did, getting to that nursing station before you woke up, providing false characterization of your psychological state for the purpose of limiting your access to care, that's not a divorce issue. That's potentially a crime." The file became a legal exhibit.